Activity 7, Making Connection. Part 1, Analysis of a set of pictures linking to acid rain. What effect does acid rain has on the limestone or marble statues? When acid rain and dry acidic particles fall to earth, the nitric and sulfuric acid that make the particles acidic can land on limestone or marble statues and damage their surfaces. The acidic particles corrode metal and cause paint and stone to deteriorate more. When sulfurous, sulfuric, and nitric acids in polluted air and rain react with the calcite in marble and limestone, the calcite dissolves. In exposed areas or buildings and statues, we see rough surfaces, removal of material, and loss of carved detail. What effect does acid rain has on plant growth?
Acid rain is thought to be acidifying soil and fresh water, dissolving and releasing aluminum in concentration toxic to fish and plants. Acid rain is also thought to be leaching nutrients from soils, thereby lowering their fertility. Acid rain also removes minerals and nutrients from the soil that trees needs to grow. At high elevation, acidic fog and clouds might strip nutrients from trees' foliage, leaving them with brown or dead leaves and needles. Acid rain decreases the pH of the soil, causing its acidity to increase, which decreases the level of important nutrients found in the soil. This process can negatively affect the nutrition and overall growth of crops.
Nitric oxide, a product of combustion of gasoline in automobiles, is one of the culprits in formation of acid rain. Analyze how nitric oxide is converted to nitric acid. What natural processes can contribute to acid rain?
Acid rain is caused by a chemical reaction that begins when compounds like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen substance can rise very high into the atmosphere, where they mix and react with water, oxygen, and their chemicals to form more acidic pollutants known as acid rain. Volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, natural fires, lightning, and some microbial processes release sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide into the atmosphere.
How is acid rain produced?
Acid rain is caused by chemical reaction that begins when compounds like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides are released into the air. These substances can rise very high into the atmosphere, where they mix and react with water, oxygen, and other chemicals to form a more acidic pollutants, known as acid rain.
What adverse effect can acid rain pose on living organisms and its environment?
Acid rain can be formed by natural causes, such as volcanic eruption. More commonly, however, acid rain is due to human activities. Acid rain results when sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides are emitted into the atmosphere and transported by wind and air current. The sulfuric dioxide and nitrogen oxide react with water, oxygen, and other chemicals to form sulfuric and nitric acids. These then mix with water and other materials before falling into the ground.
Who should be responsible for cleaning up the pollution problem?
The government is a lawmaking body that helps to make laws and regulate policies in the country. Primarily, the government has a power to organize things happening in the country. Therefore, the government is one of the responsible for cleaning up the pollution problem by making and regulating some laws about pollution. Everyone benefits from the resources we get from the environment because of the wrong way of treating the environment. Some parts of the land, water, and air have become polluted. All humans must be responsible for cleaning up the pollution problem, since we use the environment for our own needs and personal goals. It is just but fair that we take care of it and maintain its cleanliness.
What measures are taken to address the problem?
On days when high particle levels are expected, take these extra steps to reduce pollution. First is reduce the number of trips you take in your car. Reduce or eliminate fireplace and wood stove use. Avoid burning leaves, trash, and other materials, and avoid using gas power alone in garden equipment. Part 2. Visual presentation of the effects of chemical reaction and life in the environment.
Food processing and preservation. Food preservation, any of number of methods by which food is kept from spoilage after harvest or slaughter. Such practices date to prehistoric times. Among the oldest methods of preservation are drying, refrigeration, and fermentation. Modern methods including canning, pasteurization, freezing, irradiation, and the addition of chemicals. Advances in packaging material played an important role in modern food preservation.
Temperature and potential hydrogen play a significant role in controlling the growth rates of bacteria. Bacteria may be classified into the three groups based on their temperature requirement for optimal growth. Thermophiles is to 55 to 75 degrees Celsius or 130 to 170 Fahrenheit. Mesophiles 20 to 45 Celsius or 70 to 115 Fahrenheit. Or psychotrophs 10 to 20 Celsius or 50 to 70 Fahrenheit. In addition, most bacteria grow best in neutral environment. Fire control.
Fire control is practice of reducing the heat output of a fire, reducing the area over which the fire exists, or suppressing or extinguishing the fire by depriving it of fuel, oxygen, or heat. See fire triangle. Fire prevention and control is the prevention, detection, and extinguishment of fire, including such secondary activities as research into the causes of fire, education of the public about fire hazard, and the maintenance and improvement of firefighting equipment. Corrosion control.
Corrosion is the deterioration of material undergoes as a result of its interaction with its surroundings. Although this definition is applicable to any type of material, it is actually reserved for metallic alloys. Of the 105 known chemical elements, approximately 80 are metals, and about half of these can be alloyed with other metals, giving rise to more than 40,000 different alloys. Each of the alloys will have different physical, chemical, and mechanical properties, but all of them can be corroded to some extent and in different ways. Photochemical smog.
Photochemical smog is a type of air pollution due to the reaction of solar radiation with airborne pollutant mixture of nitrogen oxide and volatile organic compounds, hydrocarbons. Smog is a byproduct of modern industrialization due to industry and the number of motor vehicles. This is more of a problem in large cities that have a warm, sunny, and dry climate. Haber process.
The Haber-Bosch process combines atmospheric nitrogen with hydrogen to produce ammonia, which is a major component of fertilizers used to promote plant growth. The Haber-Bosch process, invented in 1909 to 1910, is one of the most important inventions made in the field of science. The process is named after German chemists and inventors. Fritz Haber and Carl Bosch. The process combines atmospheric nitrogen with hydrogen to create ammonia. Sounds simple, right? Well, It isn't. Catalytic converter.
Catalytic converter is a device used to reduce the emissions from an internal combustion engine used in most modern-day automobiles and vehicles. Not enough oxygen is available to dioxide the carbon fuel in these engines completely into carbon dioxide and water. Those toxic byproducts are produced. Catalytic converters are used in exhaust system to provide a site for the oxidation and reduction of toxic byproducts like nitrogen oxide, carbon monoxide, and hydrocarbons of fuel into less hazardous substances such as carbon dioxide, water vapor, and nitrogen gas. Car airbag.
Car airbags are pretty commonly known function that are relevant to everybody in our modern society. But in case you don't know, car airbags are the safety mechanism installed in the cars that rapidly inflates at the first sign of collision or impact on the vehicle itself, designed to protect, caution, and absorb the energetic force of yourself from the sudden impact of crash. Formation of ozone layer in the stratosphere.
Stratospheric ozone is good ozone. It forms about 10 to 30 miles above the Earth's surface and forms a protective layer called the ozone layer that shields us from too much of the sun harmful ultraviolet radiation or UV. Formation of acid rain.
Acid rain is rainfall whose potential hydrogen is less than 5.6. The value typically observed due to the presence of dissolved carbon dioxide. Acid rain is caused by nitrogen oxides and sulfur dioxide produced by both natural processes and the combustion of fossil fuels. Eventually, these oxides react with oxygen and water to give nitric acid and sulfuric acid. What is the source of the increased acidity in rain and snow? Chemical analysis shows the presence of large quantities of sulfate and nitrate ions, and a wide variety of evidence indicates that significant fraction of these species come from nitrogen and sulfur oxides produced during the combustion of fossil fuels. At the high temperatures found in the both internal combustion engines and lightning discharge, molecular nitrogen and molecular oxygen react to give nitric oxide. Acid-base reaction can have strong environmental impact. For example, a dramatic increase in the acidity of rain and snow, or over the past 150 years, is dissolving marble and limestone surfaces, accelerating the corrosion of metal objects, decreasing the potential hydrogen of natural waters in the environmental problem called acid rain, which is dramatically more acidic because of the human activities and the significant consequences for all living organisms. To understand acid rain requires an understanding of acid-base reaction in aqueous solution.